It's the post-match in the Denbigh once again. Everton have finally got a victory. 5th win of the season so far in 27 games. Long time coming. I've got Matt, Ed, Laura and Keith with me. Start with you, Keith. As soon as I come in here, I looked at you and there was still a lot of nerves in your face. I started talking about us making our way to the heights of 15th in the table. You told me to shut up straight away. What are your feelings after that, mate? Did you feel nervous throughout it all? And pretty much a stupid question when we've only won it 1-0. But performance-wise, how did you rate it?
I think we have to qualify the 15th position with the fact that we're currently 2 points short of 12th, but we're only 2 points clear of 19th. So I'm not getting ahead of myself yet. I thought first half they were very, very good. They controlled the game, they controlled the tempo of the game. They gave Brentford very little in that first half. After half time though, I don't know, it was like, I said to Adam Jones at half time, I seen him at half time, I said, there's no way Brentford come out after the half time and play as badly as they've just done. And I was proved right there because they were a much better side. They picked up their tempo. They moved the ball a lot quicker, and I think we struggled at times to get close to them and close them down. The back four, I think, played really well. I think they contained everything that came forward. Obviously, you're going to have a couple of chances against you, and we rode our luck a little bit. One cleared off the line, a couple of shots just wide, but it was a nervous. You could tell Goodison was nervous, couldn't you? There was that edgy anytime somebody lost the ball second half, but I think on the balance of play, Everton deserved to win it. I would say we were the better side overall, but it was very much a game of two halves, and I'd rather they played like the first half than the second half going forward.
I come away from that thinking that it felt a very old school Everton Goodison as well, particularly in the past when we've been so dangerously close to the relegation zone, Laura. The lineup as well, I think I'm feeling a lot more comfortable having Denbigh Gray starting as our striker. I mean, I looked at this pre-match building up to this, I thought Calvert-Lewin's finally going to be fit. Seeing media-wise he was going to. Seeing the lineup, I thought he's not even on the bench. How did you feel when you saw that lineup? Because what we did against Forest, there was a lot of positivity.
Yeah, I mean, I was at Forest last week, and I have to say, like, it felt like 2 points lost last week. And, you know, if I had a choice, I would have stuck with that same lineup as they sort of did today. As you say, with Denbigh Gray, I think he does add a lot of energy up there. You know, we are slim for options up there, and we've just got to make do with what we have got. While Calvert-Lewin's not in the squad, I was a bit like you. I didn't know whether he would be in the squad today. I mean, I would have been delighted if he was, but you know, I think probably doing the right thing, not rushing him back as much as we want him to. You know, is he going to come in straight away and provide loads of different answers to what we need? I mean, maybe with the balls we're sort of putting in the box now with Dwight McNeil, who, by the way, had a cracking game today again. I think he's really grown in confidence since Dyche has come in, which is great, obviously. But scoring inside like 50 seconds, Jesus Christ, I feel like I've aged about 20 years. 20 years in that game today. But yeah, just Denbigh Gray by the end. I think those substitutions needed to come in sooner. I think it's something we do need to get used to. I think it was Mick Greenall before on Twitter said, I'd been trying to get myself ready for the fact that he doesn't make substitutions earlier on. He does leave it to the latter stages of the game. And you know, earlier I'm thinking, just make some changes. But then you look at the bench and you kind of think,
who have we got?
Who have we got that realistically that's going to bring in energy off the bench? And you're looking at Neil Maupay, who did, you know, he'll run around like a little Jack Russell, but you know, he's not offering a lot up there at the moment, is he? So I suppose if you are Dyche, you're sort of thinking, realistically, what subs do I make that massively impact the game? Because we were all absolutely legged by the 65th minute, I reckon 70th minute especially. Like, I think Decore, he had a cracking game as well. He ran his legs off today.
A sort of assist as well.
Yeah, God.
So,
sort of.
So you know it. That goal from McNeil, he scored a goal that early in the game, sort of. It determines what the rest of it you're going to see throughout that, and I felt watching it that I felt a lot more calmer than I thought I ever would when you've gone 1-0 up in a game. But what Laura said there about McNeil, I think I'm starting to get a little bit more confidence in him as way as he is himself, because I don't know if you saw it in the Forest game. I think we won a corner or something, he goes over there and he starts putting his fist up to the fans and all that. Any time I've ever seen him before, particularly when he was at Burnley, when I watched him, he seemed quite shy. Seeing him do those sort of things and the way we respond to that when he's doing that sort of thing makes you feel a little bit better when he's starting. And today, that goal, when he scores a strike like that, he's starting to repay a bit of that 20 million quid we just threw at them for nothing.
Definitely. I think, first of all, I believe the assist has been credited to Doucouré, but I would like to give the assist to the Siren. Back with the bang. That was superb. But you can see that Sean Dyche has got to use whatever part he's got available to him. We don't have superstars, and we are relying on players who can combine graft with a little bit of something special if they've got it. And Dwight McNeil does have those things. He was very, very low in confidence first half of the season. He'd come off a really bad season with Burnley, where he struggled to score, struggled to assist, and things didn't quite go his way, and I think as fans we did get on his back a little bit. But we're in a position now where we have no choice but to support everyone we have. We don't have a big squad, so every player who takes part needs to be given that backing, and the manager's evidently doing that. And McNeil gave everything today, absolutely everything. You could see at the end he was struggling to move, but he was still moving. And that's the sort of performance that we need to survive. And you saw it from a few today. I think Gray in particular as well. Gray, Doucouré, you could tell they had given every drop they had. And that's the first thing you need to win, especially when you're playing sides that are superior footballing teams. There's no doubt Brentford are a better footballing team than Everton. It's just an absolute no-brainer. But we won the game today because of that effort, that ability to put our bodies on the line, and ultimately we defended a lead for 95 minutes. That's incredible for any team, let alone a side like ours that has struggled to do that. So kudos to the players. I think McNeil was my man of the match today.
Just to jump ahead on what you said there about playing against the side for 95 minutes and keeping a clean sheet. Well, the side of it is looking at the opponents, because I'm pretty much obsessed for Brentford since obviously we were coming up to playing them. We've lost 4 games all season before they come to Goodison. That is quite ridiculous when we're sitting here watching Manchester City now, who've lost the same amount of games as them, and they're second in the Premier League and potentially going to win the Premier League. I love Thomas Frank as well. At the time before we got Dyson, I thought I'd have this fella as our manager straight away. We owe ourselves more credit, even at what we've spoken about here, that we've done a side like that, also to nil at home, don't we, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I was speaking to, let's say, a good friend of ours with very large hands yesterday, and he was like, he's like, they're a very good side, Brentford, they're a very good side. And I said, well, so are Arsenal, literally top of the league, and we did them 1-0 at Goodison. Why can't we do the same? I just wish we put the bet on. But yeah, 95 minutes. And granted, it did help us that in the first half they weren't in the racing at all. So they didn't get right on us straight away. We weren't under pressure until really the second half. And then we basically got away with murder, I think. Like, that's not like a criticism of our team so much, but they had a couple of very good chances, good free headers. Even their goalie had a free header at one point.
Goalie had the best chance of the game.
And it was something supernatural. Like, it just wouldn't go in for them.
But no one was next to that keeper as well. That's the one thing I was looking at, worrying about it, thinking, hang on, Michael Keane's done all right here.
Yeah,
I'm ready to give him like a 7 or 8 out of 10. And I see that their keeper's got like 5 yards around him, no one's there, and just slices his head wide.
And I've not delved into the stats yet, but I reckon at least 3 of our players must have won over 10 headers today. Like, just every single ball that went in. It always makes you ask why Brentford persisted with it, to be honest, because every time they played it on the deck through us, we were just letting them do it. And that's when, the hair started to go really grey. But then they just reverted back to crossing it. And in terms of the game management, I've just got to give a shout out to that last 5 minutes, that injury time. The ball must have spent more time in injury time in their 18-yard box than anywhere else on the pitch. Like, even like that was like a throwback to the United and Chelsea games at the end of last season when Richarlison, GBNF, was just generating throw-ins in front of the Gladys Street, and just he had that Wan-Bissaka on strings. It was like that again, like pinning them back in the box. And again, I asked the question, why did they persist with it? If they just hoofed it up, they might have got through us, but instead they're playing out from the back. Their goalie was a bit of a shocker today, to be honest, in terms of distribution in that. He had about 5 touches every time he got the ball. Just allowed Gray and then Mope, when he came on, just step up, chase them down, move them side to side. And, just very, very professional. And shout out Tom Davies as well, coming on. Everyone's knackered. We needed fresh legs. It's a thankless task asking him to just come on for 10 minutes to see out a game, but he did it very well. Like he wasn't so much an engine because he only had 10 minutes, but he was like an afterburner. He was just a little bit of boost just to get us over the line. And I did say 4-0 before kick-off, but I'll take 1.
Yeah. It's a good point that about Tom Davies. I'm ready to slag him off every time we see the board that he's coming on. But it felt to me, looking at a lot of those players today, Keith, sort of a match for a few misfits that we've got, because Michael Keane's been with us for 7 years now, and I think that's fucking remarkable that we've still got a player like that. When you've still got him putting in a performance against us, for us, they've got Ben Mee at the other end of it. It's like dice playing with all his players on the pitch there. Defensively, I mean, any time I see the team when he's in it, I'm sitting there shaking my head thinking we've still got a load of fucking central defenders there. But lo and behold, I'm sat here, we won 1-0, and I'm willing to give Michael Keane a lot of credit for how we played today.
I mean, on Tom Davies, I thought he was very good when he came on. I don't think he missed a single tackle, which is what he was sent on to do, was basically shore up the midfield. Because at that stage, they were just walking through our midfield time and time again. You could see Onana wasn't on his game today. Idrissa Gueye had a very good game. I thought he was immense. I thought he's probably our best player today. But he was getting tired. And you needed just a set of legs in there to close down, stop the easy pass, make them try and force it rather than just walk through us. And I think he did that very well. He tracked back brilliantly, and there was one occasion where he won the ball and then brought it out from the back and bought a clever foul, and it slowed the whole game down brilliantly, and it was exactly what we needed at the time. Say what you like about Tom Davies, he's a clever footballer. He understands the game. He understands the game situation. He might not be the most talented footballer. He might not get you like goals and assists and whatnot, but you can throw him in there and he will throw himself into tackles and win the ball time and time again. And that's exactly what we needed today, and that's what he delivered. So full credit to him. Who else did we mention there?
Michael Keane. I'm dying to talk about Michael Keane. For God knows why, like.
I thought, funnily enough, when Everton were good first half, Michael Keane was shite. Because
the exact opposite the other way around.
There was at least 4 occasions where he came out to win the ball and ran right past it, or Ivan Toney bullied him off it. And I was just thinking, oh God, this is vintage Michael Keane. And then second half, when Everton was shite and completely under the cosh, Michael Keane was an absolute colossus. He won every single header. He won his tackles. He got his body on the line. Was it him that cleared it off the line, or was it Ben Godfrey? I'm not sure.
Was it McNeil, wasn't it? It was McNeil at the end, yeah.
So neither. Well,
you say cleared off the line.
It was
Does him a bit of disservice.
It was on the line.
Yeah, it was on the line, yeah.
An amalgamation of the two then. If you put Ben Godfrey and Michael Keane through the fly machine, you'd get Mikalenko. So
it was McNeil.
Well, you get McNeil as well. Sure. Right, I'm losing track of all these M's and Micks and whatnot. Yeah. At that stage, I was frantically hanging off the back of the old lady in front of me, begging for the full-time whistle. so forgive me my confusion between names. I thought Michael Keane had a very good second half. I thought Tarkowski played very well today. I thought he led the line well, he marshalled things at the back, and he put in an absolute monster of a Tarkowski tackle, which my good friend Laura beside me really enjoys. So she'll be thinking about that one for the rest of today, I would imagine.
Steady on, like I'm in public, but yeah, I think just need to.
Well, no one can hear us. I can barely hear you, but you know.
Just need to calm down a little bit then after Keith reminded me of that. Yeah, no, I agree. Tarkowski had a great game today. He was even putting in some little turns there as well. I didn't realise he had it in him. I thought he was just a big brick shithouse, to be honest. But I'm going to be kind to Michael Keane, and I'm going to say, he had a good game, pretty inoffensive. He's not really made any mistakes or anything. Brentford, they were pretty poor today. For me, I was not expecting much from. I think, going into every game every week at the moment, I just don't go in expecting much because I don't want to end up disappointed. But Tarkowski. Thought Coleman as well. Coleman again had another good game. He gets a lot of stick wrongly, in my opinion, on social media. He always puts a shift in. He put in a tackle. Was that in extra time? That tackle he put in today? Yeah, I thought that was.
When he's giving it loads.
Yeah, he was giving it loads because you can see not what that means to him. He knows that tackle there is so vital, and it's at a pivotal moment as well. Because all it would take then is if they're through there, anything can happen. They'd already had a few close calls. Just got the names mixed up now with Keith going on about McNeil, Mikalenko, Godfrey. How do you even get Godfrey confused with any of them? I thought Godfrey did all right today. I think he had his positioning was probably a little bit off at times, but
when you're asking him to play, I suppose you can give him an excuse for that.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think maybe a few years ago now we were probably thinking he was a great signing, but just not fully convinced on him at the moment. But I'm willing to give him time. I don't want to make any sort of rash decisions, as you say, in the positions you're sort of playing him in. But yeah, I'm just, to be honest, I don't know why we're trying to talk down Everton today and their performance, because we should be absolutely buzzing with 3 points there. They're not an easy team to play against, and they looked crap today.
Yeah.
They played the way they were playing out from the back, and we were putting them under pressure all the time, especially from Decore and Gray as well. So yeah, I think be happy with the 3 points and move on.
Laura's beat me to the punch slightly there. I did want to come back and touch on Seamus Coleman there because he was absolutely immense today. I think that's one of the best games he's had for Everton, genuinely, and he gets a lot of stick, and a lot of people, including myself, have said we need to move on from him now. But I would say legitimately he's a contender for Everton's Player of the Season this year, because he's come in after Nathan Patterson got injured, and he has led the team like a captain should, and he shows up every week, and he might not have the legs he once had, he might not get us forward as often as he once did, but you can tell that the commitment to the team, the willingness to put his body on the line for the team is still there in droves, and he sets an example for the rest of that back four time and time again.
Is that where Dice is the type of manager he's going to want at this stage of his career? Somebody who just drafts. You're not asked about getting him forward and whipping crosses in, which he was never really good at anyway. It wasn't his main attribute. For him to go and do what he did today, that's to a T what Sean Dyche wants from his team that you've ever seen, really.
I think you're spot on there, to be fair. I think Dyche is a perfect manager for him, because he's at that stage of his career now where he's going to be a defensive fullback, and Dyche loves a back four that can defend, and Coleman has, since Dyche has come in, Coleman has been probably our standout player out of them all. And speaking about since Dyche has come in and players that have stepped up, I'm going to set up the mantle now for someone else to take over and talk about how good Abdoulaye Doucouré has been since Dyche has come in as manager.
I was just going to say on the Seamus Coleman topic, because as you all know, I can go on about that for hours and days and weeks. I think like the turning point for me, I noticed on social media with him, was Arsenal at home, because pre-game so many people were slagging him off and how's he going to deal with Martinelli, and he handled him perfectly. And then I think since then so many people have just shut up because the disrespect out there, like, it's unbelievable, and I'm very happy for him.
Coming to you there about what I just mentioned there about Dice. When we initially got him in, which obviously last month now, month before, whenever, I was really, I didn't know what to think of him coming in, given the squad we had. A match like today, a performance like today against a team like today, there's very rare manager I think would come in and put in a performance like that would be akin to what we've seen at Goodison, like I explained at the start, where we're in the shit, basically. He's the type of manager that will find and give it to players. There you go, there, the picture Laura's just put up there. We'll put that on the podcast, take a look at it when it's on Twitter. Make sure you save that, Laura. Yeah, when you've got a squad that ours is, which is, keep on saying the word misfits, because you look at that squad and you start thinking about various managers we've had, loads of them in the last few years. We've still got players that have been through them all. We've got players that people have brought in individually. You look at that squad and you think, how the fuck is this going to come together? Performance like today where you go and get a scrappy 1-0 win, I'd have thought Everton weren't capable of that.
I think the most apt way to describe Sean Dyche is he's not the manager we want, he's the manager we need. And I think that's true of many of the players who have performed really well. Your Colemans, your Doucourés, to an extent Idrissa Gueye as well. Players who an aspirational side would not want, a side competing for Europe or whatever, would not want. But a team that needs to scrap and fight and win under any circumstances, we've got the manager and the players who can achieve that. And I think Frank Lampard, yes, as much as he somewhat saved Everton last season, was not going to be able to do that job again. So we are as equipped as we can be to survive now. I think we've said to death about how we've been let down by the lack of signings and lack of reinforcement. We know that situation. So all we can do now is deal with the players we've got. And I think personally I was getting very tetchy at the lack of substitutions, but Dyche had the idea of what he wanted to do. He felt that the units staying together might be better for their cohesion, and it worked. And when things work, you can't really question it too much. You know, 3 points on the board. I think it's interesting to see how he takes on the next games now. Chelsea, Spurs, Manchester United. Games we're not expected to really win at all. You know, a couple of them away as well. We still need to fight for those points as we have done today. So how is he going to go about doing it? I think that's the question that's going to be asked now. But I think he's earned our trust and our respect for what he's trying to do. And to overcome a very talented Brentford side who were able to throw on game-changing players one after the other today, I can only be pleased, especially with a clean sheet on top. That's the cherry. So I've got faith in Sean Dyche, and you just wonder how many more of those wins we need, because hopefully it's not too many. But I really do feel like we can do it. That's a lovely change from where we were 6-8 weeks ago. We can do it, and that's what he brought to us, I believe.
We can do it, we will do it. I feel now exactly how I felt at this stage last season. Everyone around me is like, oh no, we're gone. I just don't get that feeling. I just don't. Like, I've used the word blunder. We're going to blunder our way to safety, but I think we're going to get there.
To have that feel, I know, almost like a natural feeling you've got, to what you just reflected on last season. From what you've seen from the Dyche since we've had him, does that give you more confidence that that's going to happen?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Like I said after the Arsenal game, like the fact that he could do that in such a short amount of time. I mean, I'll be the first to admit I wasn't enamoured with him. I was very down on the idea of appointing him. But if that man can bring Dwight McNeil back from the dead, resurrect Abdoulaye Doucouré's career and somehow make a lone striker of Damari Gray, who is the shortest outfield footballer.
Wasn't a regular starter.
Shortest footballer in the league. Like after very sort of public back and forth about how he selected McNeil over him because McNeil gets back a bit more. Like the exact polar opposite of what we heard about Lampard's man management style, which was I picked the team, don't question me. He's given him feedback. He's coached him on the training pitch, and somehow he's thrown him out there as a lone striker when we haven't got anyone. Well, we got Malpe, we got Sims, but it wasn't working, and it's just it's incredible that it seems to actually work. It's
bizarre.
Maybe it just baffles defenders.
Yeah.
Like you started him up front by himself. So you think, well, I should mark him. I should mark the lone striker, but do we need to?
Yeah.
And it's like it's not so much finding space, but he's helping, especially Doucouré and Iwobi. He's helping them sort of buzz around him, and he's just like an anchor point just for them to focus on. I don't think we're giving him enough credit. I was glad he got his little ovation as he came off as well. Like the fact that we haven't got much of a deep bench. We don't seem to have had that recently, that little traditional last 5 minutes, bring off the best player on the pitch to get a standing ovation. We haven't really had the personnel to actually do that, mainly because we've been chasing games. So hopefully that comes back, and it's nice for him to get that recognition. And I would have given Dwight McNeil a standing ovation as well. Hopefully those times will come back with a few more signings in the summer, and we can, give these guys the big lift that they deserve after a good performance like that.
It's interesting hearing Matt there talking about the summer, things going forward. It's actually really refreshing to hear that, and yeah, we will stay up. That sort of attitude is something I've never had in my life for quite some time, to be honest with you. A lot of what we spoke about here, go back to you, Ed, here with this, is there's a pragmatism approach from Dyche that I didn't think he was capable of. I think all of us at some point have said, I didn't know, I was a bit lukewarm about him coming to us as our manager. You mentioned how positive he was when he came in today and what he did against Arsenal and all that sort of thing. But like Matt says there, we're starting Gray up front. Look at him coming in from Burnley, and I start to think about, well, maybe it was just because purely the squad he had at Burnley, he wasn't really able to be the way he is now at Everton. He'd been able to look at a different approach to things that we would consider ourselves. I think it's actually interesting that when he's come in, we've looked at our team and thought, right, he's going 4-5-1, but he's going 5-4-1, and we've only got certain players who can play, i.e. the things everyone's saying about Calvert-Lewin. But Gray up front, and I'm looking at him thinking, where has that come from, like Matt was saying then?
I think one of the great things about Sean Dyche that I've come to appreciate a lot more as I've got to know him better is he has a really sort of business-focused mindset. And he's mentioned this before, how he takes on feedback, he learns, he adapts, he's not stuck in his ways. And that's one of the things that's really helped him here, because it's been a masterstroke putting Doucouré in that number 10 wild card role, because he has got in between midfield and defence. He's made those runs, he's got the ball, and when he's been needed, he's got back because he's got the energy. And little things like that, and like trying Gray as the striker to sort of distract and detract defenders, it's worked really, really well for him. And he just feels like a manager who will maybe fail at times, but learn from it. He won't be stubborn. And I think that ultimately will be to Everton's benefit. And I think it's the approach we need, because I think, as we've talked about a lot now, we don't have the sort of squad that we need. We have some players who absolutely should not be in a bottom 5 Premier League side, and we've got some players who are lucky to be in a bottom 5 Premier League side. And between all of those things, he's got to try and put together a team that wins games, that stays in this division. I'm not sure I'm as positive as Matt. I really do think we've got a great chance, but there's a long way to go. If and when we survive, when we survive, there's obviously a lot of work to do, and I can only hope that Dyche gets the backing to actually do something about it. But you start to get the feeling that from this sort of disjointed nonsense we've had before, there might actually be some sort of approach focused on what does this team need? What can we do next? Because that's what Dyche has done. He came to a relegation-threatened side and he went, we've got to focus on the basics. Defend your box. Don't be loose. Keep it tight when we're off the ball. Nice and simple. Little simple things for players to understand. As and when we can be more progressive, when we've got the players to do so, I'm sure he'll be able to do that because he's learning. But for now, he's doing the things that we need to live, to stay afloat in the Premier League, which we absolutely need above all else. So I'm pretty happy with the way Dyche has performed, and I think the form table since he turned up, we're in the European spot, so to speak, top 6, top 7, something like that. That is a mark of how he's done. Yes, most of the points have come at home, but so be it. When you're in the position we're in now, all points are gold, and he is delivering.
Going back to these two, still drooling over Seamus Coleman and Tarkovsky and McNeil, whoever it was who cleared the ball off the line. I want to finish with you two. It's a joint partnership, but it's quickly become on this podcast. I wish we were filming this and not just recording it, by the way. I was just talking to the lads that I put you in pairs today about the pragmatism that Dyche has shown that I never thought I'd seen it coming. Looking at what we've got left, I think we've got 3 home games left. You look where we've got 2 away. Is it 5 home we've got left?
I'll tell you now because I've sent this message earlier.
I really should know this because I've been looking at it every night and gone to sleep crying. So.
In the fetal position, rocking back and forth. No, at least you don't live with an Arsenal fan.
Home games remaining: Spurs, Fulham, Newcastle, City, Bournemouth.
That's vile. I think that's a horrible.
Away games remaining.
This is what worries me.
Yeah.
Chelsea, United, Palace, Leicester, Brighton and Wolves. So out of that, you think we have to get positive results against Spurs, Fulham, Newcastle and Bournemouth, and we have to get positive results against Palace, Leicester and Wolves. If we do that, that should be enough to stay up.
What are we counting as a positive result?
How many points is that? Say 4 wins, say 12 more points. What are we on now? 25.
So if we take out of that, if we take 4 wins and 3 draws out of that, that's another 15 points. That takes us to 40.
40 is going to be more than enough when you look at that total down there now.
I was going to say, like, it's an absolute cesspit down the bottom half of the table. Like, I don't even know if you'll need necessarily 40 it's just insane, isn't it? I think it's easier said than done looking at those fixtures and being like, yeah, we need X amount of points. I don't even want to look at the whole running. I just want to take it game by game, because looking at it all laid out like that has just given me, I just feel like I'm going to shit myself, to be honest. It's a bit scary, innit? But I think if we win the majority of the home games, pick up a couple of draws away, then we surely should be able to do enough. But I hate this feeling of looking at the teams around us every week, who they're playing, and wanting them to get a negative result. And then you look at today, and obviously like Liverpool playing away at Bournemouth, and you're honestly thinking surely they are not going to lose there. Yeah. And then obviously the inevitable happens, and you think, Jesus Christ, can't catch a break, can you, with that lot? So I think it's going to end. I hope we don't have to rely on teams around us, because it's just going to send me ill.
No one's going to trust you. I think Les Roberts put it in the group before, didn't he? He said there's not the one and only time you need Liverpool to do something for you. It's when they fuck up. We'll leave it there, guys. But finally, decent home results. I know we've had Arsenal already under Sean Dyche. We're feeling more confident when we go away from home.
Away from home still worries me, because it's Everton away from home. The way we've got to look at the end of this season, and like you touched on there with the pragmatism, is how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? We take it week by week, we get the results where we can, and we hope for results around us. It's very much in the balance, but they've shown today against the side that are unbeaten in 12 and haven't lost in the calendar year that they can win difficult games. So there's no reason Everton can't stay up. They've got it in their own hands. and that's all you got to take. That's all you got to take from it. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Up the fucking Toffees.
Not much left to say after that. Thanks for listening to the post-match after Everton 1, Brentford 0. Obviously with the Blue Room, we're back with much more this week coming. And yeah, like Keith says, up the fucking Toffees.